Okay, we're good.
You're live.
You're live.
Okay, sounds good. Well, hello, I'm Andrea, friend. I don't use Google Plus or Google Hangouts very often, so please bear with me a little bit on that. I'm sure, let me see if I can share. Okay, let's share this one. Can you see that?
No.
Sharing? No? Okay, so let me see if I have to do it this way. So anybody, how do I share? I'm trying to share my sway. Anybody know?
When you, where is share?
Because it's right here.
Share's the plus button, isn't it, with the person?
That's invite, I think. That's invite people.
Because this is the one I want to share.
It's the green button on the left-hand side.
Okay.
That's your screen.
Let's try this one. Okay. That's not the one I want to share, though. It kind of is, but kind of not. I'm trying to share my sway. Is there a way to do the internet? I'm so sorry, people.
Do you?
Okay. I've never. I'll be honest. I use Skype, and to me, it is a lot easier to use because you literally just click it and it comes up, and I can show everything. Maybe if I do this. Sorry. Maybe if I show that. I don't know. Which is kind of bummer because I have a whole bunch of really cute things to show you. What else? Man, that's bummer.
Turn the volume.
Are you seeing anything?
Down a little bit, it's killing my ears.
Does it say what?
Where it says links? You get links.
I turned down the projector.
How about the bottom right hand corner where it says links? You can link.
Do you see where it says links in the bottom right hand corner?
Hold on. That's not it. Hold on. Is it? Do you see anything?
It's under the picture.
Links.
Bottom right. See where it says science with a question mark? Do you see that on your side?
Okay. A little bit more. Where are we going? Right here?
Bottom.
Bottom right?
This is on my side, not her side.
Okay. Oh, that's on your side.
Yeah, this is me at the bottom here. Love this three dots.
Sorry, I found out about 5 minutes ago that we were using Google. I didn't know.
10 more minutes, so you might want to start talking.
All right, why don't you just start and describe a little bit, and then.
Okay. All right. Okay. So I am in Andover, Kansas right now. So this is actually my kids, their first day with my 6th graders, and I teach 6th and 8th grade science. And for me, science has always been one of those things that, I love to teach and I've always enjoyed it. But I'm not a teach by the book, open the book and let's read pages 5 through, whatever. And so that, although we know we have to get that information to the kids, I've always been trying to work out ways to make it more enjoyable. I am a left brain kind of person, which is a little bit different for most science teachers. Because they have to be, a little bit like by the book. We got to do this. We have these steps we have to follow. And so I try and bring a lot of creativity into my classroom. I am a project-based classroom. And so my kids, they will, when we're working on, talking about cells and cell cycles, they may do a rap and then we will use iMovie in order to record it. And then they will use that as their way of presenting. In my class, it is very uncommon to have a project you do on your own. I am a big proponent of collaboration. And so my kids, they're always having to work in groups in the beginning. And even from day one, in a few minutes, they'll come in here and we will do an activity that is going to focus just on that collaboration. Once we get that in place, then we can kind of have some of the fun stuff. I do have a classroom set of iPads. So that is where a lot of my ability to play comes into my classroom. We've had them for about 3 years, and You know, it was very, in the beginning when we started, nobody knew what to do with them. It was one of those, they handed it to us and said, here you go. And it was a lot of playing. And so a lot of it, just the kids, honestly, they know more than we do about a lot of things. And a lot of it is giving them a little bit of that freedom. Within my classroom, we have, we'll start out with our 6th graders. They teach earth sciences. And so we go into biomes. Along with Kyle, I am a Skype master teacher. So I do use Skype all the time. So it is my frame of where I start my day and where a lot of times I end my day. With the mystery Skype, my kids, because you've heard about mystery Skypes and how you can go and you talk to different places around the world and you're trying to figure out where they are. Well, that fits into my curriculum, but not quite. And so that's where I came up with the mystery biomes. My kids and all the 6th graders in my building, which is about 200 kids, we will go to every biome around the world. And we will talk with a classroom there or somebody who represents that place. Since I teach 7 hours a day. When I do a Skype, it may be, 1 hour does a Skype and the other classes do something else. And then it flip-flops and eventually we all are kind of at the same spot. But every hour will be they will be able to go to all the biomes around the world. And so my kids will ask questions to them and they will ask questions back. We also, we will do a lot of, when we're talking about ecosystems and how animals fit into ecosystems, my kids will use an app and they will create an animal. And then they will talk about how those adaptations from that animal, it's a crazy looking little animal, I'll tell you that. It might have like a cat head and the dog tail and, claws like a lion. But they have to then create a way to explain why that animal has those adaptations to live in that environment. And then also with those animals, what kind of other organisms are going to be living in there. And it takes about a week. But the kids are they work in partners to create these animals, and they have to really collaborate on what is going to fit in that environment and with those animals. So it's a very, and those of you, how many do I have are middle school teachers in there? All right. So are we high school behind us, the rest of us? Or middle or elementary school? Elementary. Okay. You're my kind of people. High school, I get a little, So, but it is taking things and putting it in a different perspective. And so we know with, and especially middle school and elementary school, I know before I kind of taught this way, we would read the book and we would test, and the test would say, yeah, they know it. But then if I asked them 2 weeks later about it, they'd go say, what was it? What was it, Mitch? I don't know what you're talking about. And so by doing it this way, where they're building and they're collaborating and they're talking and they're discussing, we hit on it every single time. And I do a test at the beginning and I go one at the end, and they know it, which is just phenomenal. When we do cells, like we will do video, we do wraps for the cells. And rather than saying, yeah, the cell wall protects the cell, they have to put it into a language that would be more representative of something else. So it may be, they might talk about a school, or it may be a post office box, or they have to put it into a different term in order to explain the different functions of it. So it's taking those same ideas and putting it into a different play. One of my favorite things to do all year, and this is why I wish I could show you my pictures. I have my 6th graders, and last year was perfect timing. It was on Halloween. We had just got done talking about photosynthesis. And rather than have them do the wonderful test on photosynthesis, I had them do a design, and they had to I told them to, bring out their inner Hunger Games, Cinta guy. And they had to do a costume design that had to represent the things that you would need for photosynthesis in order for it to occur. So for that to occur, we had to see, well, hold on one second. I think I might have that on top. 1 second.
The reason why we didn't use Skype, which is what she's so familiar with, is that Skype doesn't record the session. there's no broadcast feature right now. So.
All right, so I think I've grabbed some of them. It was whatever I could find on the top of my stack that I had taken pictures of. But here was like what I was talking about. Here's the animal that they made. And then they had the ecosystem, and then they had to put it into the different, what things are going to be in that ecosystem along with them. And I must not have had grabbed the one stack. So anyway, but they had to do with my 6th graders with the photosynthesis. They did a costume design, and so they would have like carbon dioxide, and they have bubbles coming out of the picture, and they would have big wings of the sun and things like that. And even my kids, who I would say are a little challenged when it comes to drawing, they had a great time doing it, because even they had to look at it in a different dimension and a different understanding to show me what they knew. And so, and that is really my big thing is I don't like taking tests. I don't like grading tests, but I could look at that and tell, did they know what things you needed to have for photosynthesis? It was fast. It was easy. We had, the kids loved showing them. They wanted, they like presenting it because they want to show that they know what they're talking about. I did want to include, because, some of my stuff that we do is, even though we have apps for everything, we do a lot of iTrailers. It's great for my 8th graders because 8th graders they're an interesting bunch. They're at that point where they still like to do the artsy stuff, but they're kind of getting to be big kids. And so we do a lot of trailers, because I can really quickly, within a trailer, they can give me the information to tell me, do you know what you're talking about? Can you interpret the information? And so it works out really well with a trailer, because they get to move, they have, they can go wherever they need to go, and they get to film things, and they like to show me what they've done. My other 8th graders, things that we've done where we've created, rock cycles. I have to do rock cycles. Anybody else a rock cycle? They do the whole rocks and minerals thing? Nobody? Okay. Well, that's a big part of, we have to do rocks and minerals in 8th grade. And so we do try and speed it up to do the rock cycle. I've had them make cartoons where the whole entire class works together, and they had to make a whole story that was a rocknella. So it was, they had stories where it was a love thing going on, and they had, 2 rocks come together and they blend and melt and become, something else. So just different things like that, where it sounds goofy, but they have a great time doing it. Does anybody have any questions before I go on? I'm sorry that I couldn't bring up the sway. I've been working on it.
Yeah, we have about 1 minute left.
Okay. All right. Does anybody have any questions?
Is the iTrailer an app?
Is iTrailer an app?
It's iMovie?
I think it's iMovie, right?
I use iMovie. I use iTrailers. I use a thing called Make an Animal. I use ThinkLink. I use trying to think of what it is. I will have Kyle, I'll give him the connection to share my sway. That way you can see it. And it's got links to everything, all the videos, everything that I put in there. Because I was going to do that anyway. So obviously, sorry, it didn't work out as well as I wanted to. Like I said, to me, Skype's a lot easier. I push a button and it goes. So anyway, but it's got on there, it's got project link. If you talk to Stacy Ryan, who was actually across the hall, she'll be talking to you, doing a presentation here in a little bit, and she'll talk about Project Link as well, and show you the video. So it's a pretty cool thing that we did here a couple of weeks ago. So, well, a year ago now. So, any questions though?
No, it doesn't look like it.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Have a wonderful day.
Thanks. Bye.
Bye.
See you later.
2:23.